Hello everyone and welcome to this video in my PMDG Boeing 737 series. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a member of PMDG's tech team and a real-life Boeing 737 pilot. Originally this flight was planned as a full flight between Frankfurt am Main and London Heathrow. However, unfortunately my video editing and recording software screwed up the recording shortly after passing 10,000 feet in the climb, and therefore the rest of the video became unusable. However, I still did not want you to be excluded from this departure, and therefore, since a lot of you have actually voiced their interest in getting some more full flight moments, and since looking at the video statistics, half of the people of you are only watching takeoff and landing anyway, I thought I'm going to upload this anyway for your enjoying. The PMDG 737, as of right now, as I'm recording it on Saturday the 7th of May at almost 1 AM at night, is almost released. So by the time you're watching this, I wouldn't be surprised if you have it on your computer already. So I'm going to keep this short, enjoy the flight, and then again, I'm hoping to be able to present you some complete flight very soon. Thank you very much, and now enjoy this
The aircraft you
flight.
see is
at this moment still a work in progress, so you can expect some final adjustments before the final release. The trim sound actually still is something that's being worked on a little bit, as you'll probably notice during the flight. So, enough said, let's hop into the aircraft and do our flight. We've done our last flight from Berlin to Zurich in the captain's seat, so today we'll actually go to the first officer's seat. And just like in my last tutorial, full flight videos, I do actually not intend to do these as tutorials or anything, but this is just like a demonstration of what it can look like when the PMDG 737 is flown by a real Boeing pilot. So I do attempt to follow the procedures of my airline as close as possible, but due to flight simulator restrictions and due to the single pilot environment, some of them are adjusted for usage in the flight simulator environment. So bear with me, especially if you're a real pilot, you see me doing something wrong, then it's probably on purpose. So I'll just change the fuel to something that you would typically see on arrival of an aircraft, or that you'd see on a parked aircraft. You can see I've changed the time slightly to give you something during daylight, so that we can enjoy the beautiful weather we have here in Europe at the moment. So we want a fuel truck, we want stairs, we want 148 passengers, and we'll need some loaders as well. Let's have a quick look into SimToolkit Pro to see how much we actually are supposed to carry. We're taking 149 passengers and 1,300 kilos of cargo. 1,300 kilos, we can put that all in the forward hold. Alright, let's quickly get our ground services starting here. Passengers can come already as well. Fuel truck is attaching. So we're flying to London Heathrow. Let's have a quick look in our flight plan. The weather over in Heathrow is a little bit rainy, but just some light rain that's going to come in over the night. 8,000 meters visibility, and then from 2000 onwards, well, that's about our expected landing time. 4,000 meters in rain and drizzle, so typical British weather really. And our alternate Doncaster is looking pretty much the same. So yeah, it's Friday evening here. So we are just going to take 15 minutes extra because Heathrow can be a pretty busy place. That makes it 5.7 plus 600 kilos is 6.3 tons of fuel that we want to take with us. So 6.3 tons, let's get started fueling. And the boarding can also commence already. And the loading as soon as the carts are here. Right, so here's our flight plan. I hope it's big enough that every one of you can see everything. Let's see, Frankfurt to Heathrow, 382 miles. That's round about what we're looking for. Request. Route uplink ready, yep, load. And here we are. And we are the Germania for Papa Romeo. Departure is probably going to be a Romeo 18, but let's just check the ATIS real quick. Romeo 07 left and right, and 18. Slight wind from the northeast, so probably a little bit of tailwind on the departure. Zobra departure, yeah, that's definitely going to be a Romeo 18. Then we have the Zobra 1 Lima departure. Quick check of the routing here, make sure that everything is good. Which it is. Then at Heathrow, let's see if there's an ATIS online. Yes, there is. Bravo Romeo 27 right, departure 27 left, so ILS 27 right we can already put in. And it's the Logan 2 hotel arrival via Lamborn. No discontinuities, perfect. Oops, pressed the wrong button there, but here we are again. How's the refueling doing? Almost done. Right, 6.3 tons, refueling's done. So the seatbelts can go on now. Alright, are you ready for the departure briefing? So threats for this departure, it's going to be busy. We are on VATSIM, on the Frankfurt Friday event, so there will be a lot of traffic around. So we got to be careful listening out for our own call sign, make sure that there is no confusion, and if there is any doubt, there is no doubt, then we're just going to stop and sit back, think about what's going on, and ask ATC as applicable. Alright, then let's do a route check. So we're going from Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, Echo Golf Lima Lima, and we're the Golf Mike India 4 Papa Romeo. The routing is going via Sobra, Yankee 180 Bitbu, Yankee 181 Demel, direct DNAT, Lima 608 Logan. And that's with a ground distance of 397 versus 407. That's probably due to the arrival transition via Lamborn that SimBrief is not aware of. 3.8 tons remaining, we need 2.7, so that gives us around about 25 minutes of extra fuel arriving at Heathrow. Okay, the UTC time here is 1321, altimeter 1022, reading 360, MF rate 1340. The flight directors are on, and the standby instruments set, and all of that cross checks with the right side as well. So, let's quickly see about the charts because it just opened. So, here we have it already. So, Bravo 1 Lima on of departure. Perfect. Right, so for the briefing part then, it's going to be right to takeoff runway 18, flaps 5, NADP 2 with a buck-up at 1500, and I'll probably do a little bit of hand flying if the situation permits. Apart from that, I don't see any specials. Our engine out SID is taking us straight out to 25 miles, picking up the hold in 4,000 feet. That's safe above the MSA of 3,500 feet. Right, if I call stop, close the thrust lever and disconnect the auto throttle, apply max manual brake and verify operation of the RT auto brakes. Manually raise the speed brake lever, apply max reverse thrust, and when the aircraft comes to a stop, I'll set the park and brake. If you call stop, I note the brakes on speed, and I'll call speed brake up to speed brake startup and thrust to as normal indications. I'll call 100 knots, 80 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, take call any emissions. I call auto brake disarm and select flap 40 when the parking brake has been set and advise ATC of the reject. We'll then identify the failure and carry out initials as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we'll read into the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CBR circuit breaker. And if the call before V1 is keep going, there'll be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise the landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, we will verify heading, select and carry out the memory items. At the MFRA, we'll buck up and retract the flaps on schedule. Flaps up, no lights, select level change, max change thrust, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, and then we'll decide on the further course of action. So, for the taxi, we parked on Victor 117. Let me quickly get the chart out. Here we are, Victor 117, all the way up here. By the way, those charts are Jefferson charts provided to the VATSIM community by Navigraph, and I can very much recommend those. And by the way, I'm not being paid to say that. Just thought it's worth mentioning. So we're on Victor 117, pushing back with the nose facing towards the left-hand side here, and then it's going to be most likely via November 1 and Lima. All the way via Lima to the holding point Lima for runway 18 for the departure. We'll take intersection Mike figures just to be on the safe side, then we can accept some shortcuts if ATC wants us to. Okay, that said, we have the Sobra 1 Lima RNAV departure on a chart 10-3 Charlie 5, effective 4th November 2021. Transition altitude is 5,000 versus 5,001. Contact lung radar when advised by tower. Warning, close in obstacles. Wind shears and increased turbulence must be expected when winds are strong. SIDS are also noise abatement procedures. Strict adherence within the limit of aircraft performance is mandatory. Operational runway use concept, we're not interested in that, and do not turn before departure, enter runway. Speed is max 250 below flight level 100. Let's quickly check that. Yeah, max 250 below level 100 is in. And then initial climb clearance, 4,000 feet. We have 4,001 in here, and we'll also put 4,000 in here. So for the routing, we climb on the runway track with a maximum of 220 knots until Delta Foxtrot 160. That's the runway track, Delta Fox 160, 220 knots. Then it's a right turn 198, 7.8 miles to Delta Fox 198, right turn 282, 4.3 miles to Rosic, above flight level 90. Then same track 13.2 miles inbound to Donap, and then same track 10.1 miles going to Sobra. Contact departure when advised by the tower, and that's pretty much it. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of hand flying if the situation permits. Do you have any questions? Alright, then let's get our IFR clearance. Just one thing really short. I'm using Audacity now to actually record the ATC audio, so hopefully that is going to be much better than on my previous videos, since that was something that a lot of you have requested for me to improve. So do give me some feedback in the comments, please.
49 Charlie, clearance to Dublin.
The information Bravo.
Lufthansa 49 Charlie, Frankfurt delivery, hello. Information Bravo is currently cleared to Dublin via the Oboka 1 Echo. Flight and route, climb by asset 5.
Loading is done as well.
2060.
Clear destination Dublin by the Oboka 1 Echo departure route. Flight and route, squawk 2060, initial climb 5,000 feet. Information Bravo on board Lufthansa 49 Charlie.
Lufthansa 49 Charlie, read that correct, report when ready for startup.
Frankfurt Delivery, guten Abend, Germania 4 Papa Romeo, Information Bravo Request, Startup.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, Frankfurt Delivery, hello, Information Bravo is correct. Cleared Heathrow via the Bravo 1 Lima. Flight and route, climb by asset 4,000 feet, squawk 2044.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, startup approved, cleared Heathrow via Sobra 1 Lima departure, flight and route, climb asset 4,000 feet, squawk 2044.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, negative, startup was not approved, readback is correct, report when ready for startup.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, roger, negative, startup, Wilco. So, 18 Sobra 1 Lima, 4000, 2044. Okay, then let's go ahead and do our performance real quick. We're now at 52.5 versus 52.3, that's close enough, and that gives me 58.9.
Frankfurt delivery, schönen guten Abend, Terraflight 918, Alpha 5.
So, virtual performance tool, really nice one. And we are in Frankfurt. Actually, let me just quickly retype that. So, Frankfurt, runway 18, we said we are taking intersection mic figures. Let's go on the safe side. Take Sierra. Runway is dry, the wind 040 at 7. Temperature 20 and 1022, optimum max 5 auto off, and the takeoff weight we set was 58.9. Let's calculate that. And by the way, let's also quickly do the landing dispatch. So we said we're going to Heathrow, runway 27 right, 2.5 dry. We'll take 5 knots of tailwind, temperature was 17 and 1024.
Terraflight 918, request startup.
And that's giving us the max landing weight. Note again, this is still supporting only the 737-800, so figures are slightly different than for the 700 we're currently flying, but they're working on it.
For pushback, contact Patron.
Alright, so takeoff calculation, then we have a 22k takeoff, 44 degrees, and the takeoff round available 2735. So 22k, 44 degrees, 88.7 versus 88.0, that's totally in limits. Flaps 5, CG 15.6, giving us 7.1 units of trim. And the speeds 128, 129, 133. Again, those are slightly different since they're for the 800 here. And the MFRA is 1364. Which is now set as well, and 133 knots.
Lufthansa 400 Charlie request startup.
Okay, 7.1 units. So let's start our APU. Oh.
400 Charlie startup.
Oh, advancing more as walk 2060, please.
So, safety inspection checklist and before start checklist. Services and shocks, checked. Maintenance status, checked. Battery on. Electric hydraulic pumps on. Landing gear lever down. Ship's library, checked. RS mode selectors, nav. Gear pins, 1 to 3 removed. Probe covers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed. Light test checked. Oxygen, test 100%. Yaw damper on. Nav transfer and display switches, normal and auto. Fuel is 5,694 required, 5,300 exactly on board, and 4 pumps on. Cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights armed, fasten belts on, window heat on, air cannon press, backs auto, bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector auto, instruments cross-checked, auto brakes RTO, hydraulics normal, speed brake, down detent, parking brake, set, stop and cutout switches normal. Wheelbar fire warning, checked, radius, radar and transponder, set and stand by, rudder and aileron trims, 3 and 0, takeoff briefing, discussed, PA, complete, FMC CDU, set, M1 and IS bucks. We have automatic, reduced 22k, speeds 128, 129, 133 set, step trim, 7.1 units set. Performance weather balance, sight and send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight of windows and cockpit door. Locked, doors closed, passengers seated. Down to the line.
Lufthansa to 8 Charlie, Frankfurt delivery, hello.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. We are the Lufthansa to 8 November.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, request startup and pushback.
Frankfurt delivery, hello.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, request startup and pushback.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, startup approved for pushback, contact Patron 121.850, bye-bye, great flight.
Startup approved, 121.850, Germania 4 Papa Romeo. Thank you very much, good night. Alright, quickly going to detune those ILS frequencies to get the PFD clear.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand
Alright,
by.
let's quickly get them to connect the tug and then we'll request pushback.
Patron, schönen guten Abend, Lufthansa 38 November, Alpha 38, request pushback.
38 November, 8 hello, traffic behind you, call you back.
Roger.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
4 Papa hello, Germania 4 Papa Romeo, Victor 197, request pushback.
Please release parking brake.
Romeo, Frankfurt, hello, pushback approved, blue line,
Pushback approved, blue line face west, Germania 4 Papa Romeo, and I'm afraid we don't have the lines in the simulator, so can we make it on the center?
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, roger, then pushback approved.
Please release parking
Pushback
brake.
approved onto the center line facing west, Germania 4 Papa Romeo. Okay, below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder, hold off before start checks complete.
Parking brakes are released.
Master caution air conditioning,
You can start the
fuel
engine
bleed.
sequence.
Yeah, we'll start in the sequence.
Okay, and then we don't need this anymore.
November 7, November 8, hold short Frankfurt 8, for good evening, Shamrock 656, November 11.
Okay, starting engine number 2.
Then Victor 107, taxi line November 11, November, hold short of November 8.
And 2.
Victor 107, via November 11, and November hold short,
Oil pressure,
November 8.
and 1.
Comfort Apron, gravity, 222 kilo, requesting taxi.
Gravity 222 kilo, taxi to Congo 07 Center via Lima, hold short of November.
By the way, the ding-dong sound you've just heard is
7 Center via Lima, holding ship November 5.
a sound from VPilot that I've changed. It's actually the private message sound, and let's just see. Yeah, it's actually somebody asking about my channel.
Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, from my view, my pushback zone is clear.
Thank you, pushback approved.
Pushback approved again, Lufthansa 3 Alpha
Okay,
India.
pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Flight 918, we are ready for taxi.
Alright, parking brake set,
brake
send to
set.
starting engine number 1, monitor engine number 2.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at
One
the
traffic
side.
cleared in
Have a
front
good
of
flight.
me.
And 2,
Holding position, waiting for the visual. Thank you and
oil
goodbye.
press,
We are cleared to,
and 1.
via November 8, hold short November.
Alright, thank you very much, Camille. Nice to see.
November, pushback approved, face west.
Alright, and 2, oil pressure, and 1.
Was that for Lufthansa 6 Tango Tango? Patron. 11750? Patron. Danke, tschüss. Lufthansa nach vorne, einer Charlie, request taxi.
Foreman Charlie, taxi to runway 07 center via November 8, hold short of Lima.
Taxi runway 07 center via November 8 and Lima, hold short Lima, sorry.
Static cutout, monitor 1,
Continue via November, hold
number 1 stable. Okay, ground, you're clear to disconnect, see you on the left hand side with the pin, and have a good day, bye bye.
line 5 to whiskey on block, stand Bravo 10. Okay. Channel 656, my mistake, make it hold short of number 5 and contact 8 on 1
Right, flight controls, up, down, left, right, rudders, left, right, and don't accidentally release a brake. Okay. After start checklist, generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, NEIs off, air conditioning impacts auto bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected and green light, step trim 7.1 set, start levers, idle determined, flight controls checked, recall checked before taxi checks is complete.
One-to-one, 7 first level gravity, gravity kilo. Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, request taxi. Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, hold short taxi by November 7 and November 8 and please say again holding short. Hold short of Lima. Holding short Lima, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India.
Germania for Papa Romeo, request taxi.
Germania for Papa Romeo, taxi 1.18 by November 1 Lima, hold short of November 5.
Takes loading point 18 by November 1 Lima, hold short November 5, Germania for Papa Romeo. Okay, so we're going left here, then on Lima, and we hold short after the start terminals. Okay. That routing is understood. Config.
November 528 from Hello, stand Alpha 16, taxi by November 11, that is all short of November 8.
Lufthansa 38 November, request taxi.
November, taxi to 1.18 by November 7, November 8.
Okay, so we're cleared in Lima, that's the second, not Lima North.
38 November, taxi 1.18
This one's
by
Lima
November
North.
7, November 8, hold short Lima.
After that comes Lima.
Terrafly 918, hold short of link 5 and give way to 3 aircraft downing from the left.
Hold short of link 5, give way to 3 aircraft coming from the left, 918.
The scenery is not entirely perfect here yet because it's still a beta. You can find the link in the description of the video below. And it's a free scenery, which is really good for free, and it doesn't require the Flight Simulator Premium Frankfurt, but this is all the scenery that you see and not the default Asobo stuff. But it's not 100% complete as of the recording of this video, so yeah, expect some minor taxiway issues like the one you see over here.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat the clear?
616, 40.18, taxi via November 5, hold short of Lima.
Taxiing 0.18 and taxiing via November 5 and holding on Lima. Stand 66.
Hold short of Lima.
Holding go off Lima 616.
November contact 8 on 1-1-1-750.
Lufthansa 38 November 1-1-75, danke schon.
India contact 8 on 1-1-750.
1-1-750, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India.
Germania for Papa Romeo contact 8 on 1-1-750.
1-1-750, Germania for Papa Romeo, just.
Oh, Lufthansa 49 Charlie contact 8 on 1-1-750.
1-1-750, Lufthansa 4, Charlie.
Lufthansa 38 November, turning right onto Lima.
Frankfurt Apron, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, moin, November 8. November Alpha India, Apron hello, turn right Lima. Turning right Lima, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India.
Frankfurt Apron, hello, Germania 4 Papa Romeo on Lima, hold short November 5.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, Apron hello, continue via Lima, hold short of November 8.
Continue Lima, hold short November 8, Germania 4 Papa Romeo. Okay, so November 8 is behind the main Lufthansa terminal.
The 49er Charlie, Apron, guten Abend, turn
The
right
Westhof,
into Lima,
as they
hold
call
short
it
of
in
Lima,
German. I think that's where the Lufthansa is just coming out. November 5 here. Clear across that.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, red November 8, give way to outbound Lufthansa Airbus A320.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, we are number 2 behind the Lufthansa Airbus 320. Okay, that's the guy over there. Let's just go a bit slower, then we hopefully don't have to stop.
Gravity correction, Terrafline 918, apron hello at Lima, give way to Germania from left to right, thereafter join Lima.
At Lima, give way to Germania from left to right, and after that join Lima 918.
Okay, that's probably the Terrafly there.
Patron, good evening.
Lufthansa 616, apron hello, turn right into Lima.
Turn right, turn right onto Lima.
Break 1 Whiskey, apron hello, turn right into Lima, November 14, November. Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, next right, November 14, then left November. Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, next right onto November 14, and then again November. Lufthansa 49 Charlie, contact tower 118.7752. Lufthansa 49 Charlie, contact tower 118.775.
118.775,
Lufthansa 38 November, contact tower 124.850.
Lufthansa 38 November, 12485, second shop.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, next right, November 14, left November.
November 14, left November, Germania 4 Papa Romeo. Okay, yeah, we can do this by heart. That's the one over there, then to the left.
Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, contact tower 124.850. Tower 124.850, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, Dankeschön, ciao. Fly 918, revision, taxi via November 14, November.
November 14, November. Is that here on my right side, or do I have to go for another one?
The second one to your right.
Second one to my right, November 14, 918. What was the frequency for Lufthansa 49 Charlie, the tower?
The 49 Charlie, 118.775.
118.775, thank you.
FedEx 36, runway 18, taxi via November North, November 17, hold short of November.
Okay, we're clear on the right, clear on the left. We'll go to the left here.
Germania 4 Papa Romeo, contact tower 124.850, ciao.
124.850, Germania 4 Papa Romeo, ciao. Okay, let's do the before takeoff checklist. Config, check, flaps, 5, green light, step trim, 7.1 set. Takeoff briefing, it's going to be a right seat takeoff, runway 18, flaps 5, NADP 2 with a buck up at 1500, manually flown. Flex auto bleeds on, engine anti-ice is off, and the SID straight at right turn, climbing 4000, contact departure when advised by the tower. EO SID straight at 25 miles, climbing 4000. Any questions? Okay, cabin. Secure. Frankfurt Tower, hello. Germania for Papa Romeo, ready.
Germania for Papa Romeo, Frankfurt Tower, hello, line up runway 18 and wait.
Germania for Papa Romeo, line up runway 18. Okay. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure.
Line up 18, Frankfurt Tower, hello.
So he's waiting, that's good.
November, water.
Okay. So we are lucky here, the Lufthansa called so late that we'll actually get priority over him. That's very good. Before takeoff checklist, below the line. MCP. Set. Transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, holding at landing lights.
Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, identified contact departure 136.1252.
Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, please say again.
Lufthansa 3 Alpha India, identified contact departure 136.125.
Departure 136.125, Dankeschön, Lufthansa 3 Alpha India.
Germania for Papa Romeo, wind 030 degrees, 7 knots, runway 18 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 18 cleared for takeoff, Germania for Papa Romeo. Okay. Landing lights.
November behind departing Germania, Boeing 737,
on,
line up runway 18
and
Lufthansa 3 November behind departing Germania,
what do you do there? Now it's running. Okay, before takeoff checks complete. Stabilized. Timing. Set takeoff thrust. Yeah, we're going to disregard this door caution. That's something the PMDG is doing sometimes, but that's purely aircraft related. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Checked.
Lima Whiskey 00, taxi via Papa, hold short of November 11.
Reporting.
Yeah, Algeria 48, wind 030 degrees, 7 knots, runway 0.
You're up.
Left, straight to land.
LNAF.
Germania for Papa Romeo, identified contact departure 136.1252.
136-125, Germania for Papa Romeo, tschüss.
Lufthansa 81 Whiskey, Frankfurt Tower, hello.
Okay, back up. Flaps 1.
Long way to Lufthansa.
Speed check, flaps 1. And flips up. Speed check, flips up. Bangalore, Germania for Papa Romeo. Zulu's departure, passing 2600, climbing 4000, and actually a Sobra departure. On flight level 80, Germania for Papa Romeo. Set, 80 checked. Okay, alt intervent. Flaps up, no lights. VNAV, set standard. Passing 3500, climbing 8000 after takeoff checklist.
Can you spell it, please? Direct cruise on Lufthansa 420.
Okay, after takeoff checklist. Air can impress. 2.0, climbing. Set. Altimeters. Standard. Passing 5,000, climbing, passing 50, climbing 80. And we can go speed intervent and speed this up to 50 knots. We're basically overhead that VOR. Romania for Papa Romeo, climb flight level 130. Set, 130 checked. You see, hand flying these things is not always that easy if you're doing single pilot operation. Ja, vor Papa Romeo direct rudert. One, 2, 3, 275, Germania for Papa Romeo, ciao. Okay, execute. LNAV available. LNAV. Now it's getting a bit too much. Command B.
November, climb level 80.
Vertical speed. Germania for Papa Romeo, yep, we're just coming up, passing level 119, climbing 130 inbound rudert. Climb flight level 300, Germania for Papa Romeo. Set, 300 checked. VNAV. And we can go full climb thrust. Okay, so we are passing flight level 125, climbing 300, 10 checks. Fuel balanced, 4 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.8, slightly climbing, and set, fasten belts. We'll release the cabin first and then do the passengers short while thereafter. Recall checked, 1 to 1.5, monitoring, and we're not going to connect to CPDLC today. Right, that's the 10 checks complete. Alright everyone, I'm afraid I have to cut the video off here. My video recording program acted up, but of course without showing anything. So when reviewing the file in the post-processing, I had to figure out that from this point onwards there was just no moving image anymore in the rest of the video file. I really apologize for this. I tried to save the file somehow, but unfortunately that didn't work. So we'll have to end today's video over here. Nonetheless, I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I look forward to present you the next full flight, hopefully very soon. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and see you all again in the next video.